Hello, everybody. My name is Shaz. I hope you're doing well today. In this 25-page document, we are going to go over how to increase your show up rate using this AI system. This AI system for our clients has been able to almost double the amount of people that show up to sales calls. If you think about doubling the people that show up, that's double the amount of revenue that you could collect, and that's double the amount of freedom you could achieve as a business owner. So a lot of potential here. I'm going to break it down in the most simplistic terms and even give you a demo of sort of how the system looks and how you could build it for yourself. So it's going to be an awesome call. Don't mind me. I'm going to be more in the corner today because of the mic setup, but regardless, the value is going to be insane. Let's hop right into it. If you want more videos like this, I highly recommend you hitting the subscription bell. I've never posted as much content in my life as I have now, and AI is only going to get more powerful. So join me on this journey using AI and automation to scale your business. Let's hop right into how you could increase your appointment show up rate using this AI system. So let's get started with this 25-page value-filled document by starting off with something very simple that everyone has to understand. How does a business scale? They sell. Business 101. If you don't sell, you don't scale. All right. In order to sell, you need customers. In order to get customers, you need sales calls. In order to close sales calls, people have to show up to them. All right. So we're going to work backwards from this. You have to sell to scale. How do you do that? You need customers. How do you get customers? You need to close sales calls. How to close sales calls? People have to show up to the sales calls. And that is the problem we are going to solve today with this AI system. Because if people aren't showing up to sales calls, you have no one to sell to, and you can't sell anything, you can't scale, all right? Now, I could stop talking about this section right here because you have to understand this. Again, business 101. Don't overcomplicate stuff based on what you see on the internet or even get in your head about it too much, especially when you're starting out. You're just selling a product or a service and then just work backwards from there. Optimize each one of these steps, and you will find great success. The step, again, that we're optimizing today is making sure people show up for your sales calls so you could actually pitch them and sell them, all right? It would be a shame, though, not to know this, and that's why I'm going to dive into this. These numbers should scare you. These actually frighten me and really made me build out this system and then also implement this system for 6- and 7-figure clients of ours that they really got massive benefit out of. So the average conversion rate of cold calling is around 2%. So if you make 100 calls, about 2 will book in. All right, 2%. Now, no-show rates for these appointments on cold calling specifically. I'm using cold calling because a lot of people do this method still. It still works. Cold email, all these other lead generation services, you could use examples for those as well. The percentages will be a little bit different, but cold calling, the no-show rates are as high as 50%. So let's do some quick math here. Say you have a cold calling team, 4 of them, they all make 250 calls a week. So 1,000 calls a week are being made. And again, this goes for any lead gen, cold email, cold DM, whatever. Cold calling is just an example. So 1,000 calls are made each week by your team. And at 2%, 20 appointments are booked. Awesome. That's 20 people you could sell to. That is 20 people you could collect revenue from. Now, this is where it gets scary. Stay with me here. Let's say this company is selling a $5,000 service. All right. So there's $100,000 in potential revenue in the pipeline because every single week they're booking in 20 appointments. If they could sell a $5,000 service, there is $100,000 in revenue on the table. 20 times 5,000. All right. Now, of those 20 appointments, there's a 50% show up rate. That's like the high end of a no show up rate for cold calling. That's only 10 appointments that actually show up. Now, think about the math. Nothing has even happened yet. Before the business could even pitch their service, the revenue potential dropped from 100K to 50K. It's slashed in half. Do you know how bad that is? Like, that should scare you guys. If people aren't showing up for your call, every single person that does not show up for your call is lost revenue. All right. And you didn't even get a chance to pitch your service. You could have the best service in the world, but no show up, no sale. Guys, if there's no show up, there is no sale. Now, again, let's say that they do have the best service ever. Every extra person that shows up to this example company's sales call is an extra $5,000 they could potentially add. Every extra person that shows up could turn into salary to actually pay these cold callers. A lot of the people we work with have massive teams. They have employees. So if they collect more money, they could pay out these employees to do more outreach and then, again, scale the company. And then every extra person that shows up is a new opportunity for referral, a client, revenue, and so much more. You'd be surprised by just getting on a call with the person for just them showing up. So many doors are open. You might not sell them, but they might have a friend or a colleague, someone in the industry or in the niche that would want your service. So the more people that show up, just the more opportunity there is in general. Now, the sad part is that so many of these companies bust their ass, guys. Like, so many people focus on booking in sales calls. Not enough people make sure that they actually show up. All right? So they spend so much time busting their ass to set appointments, yet spend little time to making sure those appointments actually show up. here is the solution we're going to go over, and it does use AI. It is very leveraged, guys. It's an awesome, awesome system. Again, we have seen these solutions double show up rates, which could double revenue, which could double freedom. Let's get right into it. You can get this whole document, by the way, guys, for free in our Facebook group. That's going to be a school community very soon. So depending on when you see this, click that first link and you could get this whole thing for absolutely free. We have over 1K subs here on YouTube. I highly encourage you to join the family, use AI and automation to scale your business. As it's not going anywhere, it is the future. So do join the family here, and then always shoot me a DM on Instagram. Introduce yourself. Just say hi. I reply to every single one of your guys' comments, and I would love to make a connection with you. Now we're going to go into some current methods that business owners and even one of you guys could be using to make sure people show up to calls. These are outdated in my opinion because they're not leveraged. They're not using automation. They're not using AI and this new technology to make this process as easy and effective as possible. If you are using one of these current strategies, please do drop a comment and let me know how it's going for you, especially if you're crushing it, because again, I would love to learn about what you're doing. So first we have dialing up your leads. This is a very common way to set reminders for prospects to show up to booked calls. And I do want you to consider this statistic done by Harvard Business Review, one of the most prestigious institutions in the world. Essentially, they ran a test with a bunch of data, and it shows that if you do not respond to a lead within 5 to 10 minutes, your odds of qualifying or booking a call go down by 400%. That's crazy. That is insane. That means you have to get to these people in 5 to 10 minutes, or your chances basically just fall off a cliff to book them in for a call. Now, I do want to mention this is for booking appointments. So there's 2 steps to this whole system. I'm actually coming up with this video very soon, how to use AI to book appointments. It's going to be somewhere on your screen right here. But booking appointments is the first step. Making sure people show up to these appointments is the second step. We're talking about that second step right now. So you already have these calls booked in. We just want to make sure people show up to these calls. All right. So this is a statistic for step 1. And even though we're going over step 2 right now, it's still insane that how fast you have to get to these people and how fast you have to respond to them is crazy. All right, and that's why dialing up your leads is not scalable. If you're not familiar with how this system looks like, essentially when an appointment is booked, you'll just have either yourself or someone from your company call up and remind this person to show up to the call. This does work, just not very well. It's not efficient at all. We're going to go over a more efficient way that's completely automated using AI that does just this. It's very hard to scale. Let's say 5 to 10 people book in a call a day. Let's just say 5. There's no way, or it's going to be very hard to organize a team to just call up these people every single day on multiple touch points, because you can't just remind them once. You have to remind them twice and 3 times and 4 times. We actually run them through a 4 to 5 time sequence to remind them to show up for the call. All right, so it's not scalable, and then it's just a waste of labor. So think about this. Why on earth would you have someone from your team call up a lead to remind them of an appointment rather than call up other business owners to book in more appointments? So basically, why would they be doing this task instead of doing lead generation? All right, so it's just a complete waste of labor. If you're telling people to call up these leads to remind them to show up for a call, it just doesn't make sense. I would rather have my team prospecting for new business than talking to these people that have already booked in a call when there's other systems that could do what they do. All right, so it's no leverage whatsoever. And again, we're here to optimize for leverage in business and all these systems. And another way that business owners try to increase their show-up rates is through email reminders. All right, while this does work, again, I don't think people understand how many emails business owners receive. If you're a business owner yourself, you understand this. You receive thousands of emails a week, hundreds a day, and it's just not feasible for you to get these reminders and let alone open them or acknowledge them in many cases. One of our clients alone, we were trying to send them over a contract, and they had to delete like 20,000 emails that were just dead from their service, from their provider, just for the email to go through. Like they were that backed up. All right, email reminders are not bad. It's just a very low chance that they work, simply for visibility reasons in the B2B market. So if you're in the B2B market, if you're a business selling to other businesses, they're getting flooded with emails, and the chances that they see your email coming through to remind them to show up is very, very slim. But this is a leveraged system, and the fact that a software could do it for you, but it's not as leveraged as the system we will get into. This goes the same for booking system reminders. So if you're using Cal.com, Calendly, any of those sort of scheduling softwares, it's very similar. They will send out emails on your behalf, and they'll do multiple emails, which is really cool. But this, again, just does not work as well for the same reasons. Emails are too full for a lot of your clients, and there's no personalization factor as well. We're going to use AI as personalization to make people show up for these calls when we get into the system in a little bit. But again, booking system reminders, I should say, are very similar to the second way, email reminders. They don't work as well as this other system we're going to get into. And then finally is the worst possible thing you could do is just relying on the prospect. If you give the person a reason not to show up, they will take it and they won't show up. All right, so relying on the memory or excitement of the prospect will almost never work, again, especially in business to business. And if it does work, it's 100 million, billion, trillion% not scalable or solid. Honestly, it's just luck. If they are that hyped to show up for your call, that's a good thing, but that's not a scalable system. To scale, you need predictable, tangible systems. I will have a video on that very soon as well. But yeah, just don't rely on the prospect to show up for the call. That's almost never going to work. So what have we done to actually double appointment show up rates? Let's cover that in the new system right here. So this is the new strategy using AI of how to almost double the amount of people that show up to your sales call. All right, so the new strategy using AI increases show up rates by optimizing for these three variables. If you optimize for these three variables, people will show up to your sales calls. 1, visibility. 2, personalization. And 3, repetition. This strategy covers all of these points in the most leveraged way possible. You set up the system once. Let me repeat. You set up the system once, and it helps you forever in the future to help people show up to your sales calls. There's no human intervention, or at least as little as possible. And then the most output for any input, again, leverage. You're going to put in a small amount of input, which is setting up the system, and then you'll get a lot of output because people will show up for your sales calls at almost double the rate. This is just one of our company's solutions that has saved our clients over 6 figures a year. Again, we work with 6 and 7 figure business owners, so something like this goes a long way for them. And again, this saved them $100,000 annually. One of these automated systems. If you want to talk to us about custom AI solutions for your business, it will be the first link in the description. But anyways, here is how the system works. Again, like I was describing earlier, there's sort of 2 ways that booking a call works from the moment they book in a call to them showing up on a call. 1 is an AI-powered appointment setting system that actually books in the calls. Again, that's step 1. 2 is the AI-powered system that makes sure the people show up to the call. That's step 2. That's what we're talking about today. Again, stay tuned for this video. That'll be on the channel very, very soon. Yeah, you could see that there. Now, an AI reminder system that increases show-up rates. Let's get into sort of how it works. So a call is booked. Step 1 is complete. And then a label where the lead came from is tagged to this person. So we're going to tag where this lead came from. Was it Facebook ads? Was it Google ads? Instagram ads? Referral? Cold outreach? As much as we possibly can, we're going to get the demographics of this lead down and get all the data around where this person came from. Then, using that data, we're going to send them a personalized reminder message using AI to show up for the call. Then, we're going to wait for the response, and we're going to loop this whole process so people will see the message, they will respond, the AI will wait for a response, and then send them another personalized message based on their response, and the whole process goes over and over and over to remind people to show up for the calls. All right, and then you can set your own time intervals on the system. So, you can set a reminder a day before, 12 hours before, 4 hours before, 2 hours before, and then 10 minutes before. That's sort of what we recommend. You could do any time interval that you want. Again, you don't want to send one reminder. You want to send multiple, so it's flooding their inbox in a way so they show up for this call. All right? Now, most of this is done through SMS. It has the best visibility rather than email. Again, a lot of people check their text messages over their email inbox, so SMS is the best way to run the system, and we have an integration to actually do so. This is an extremely simplified version of the system. If you want a free demo, again, first link in the description. Just say you're interested in this, and I could show you basically how it works. But this is a very, very simplified demo of sort of how it works. Lead is tagged. We'll send a personalized reminder AI message. We'll wait for the response, and we'll loop this until they show up for the call. These 2 systems work together to allow you to book in and make sure people show up to calls using AI. Both parts of the system are necessary, so having this is great. But having an AI appointment setter that actually books in calls is even better. So when both of the systems, part 1 and part 2, are working together, you get something that is unbelievably powerful, guys. It's basically all leveraged through AI. And again, we're optimizing for leverage here. So you set this up once, no team is needed, and there's multiple touch points, meaning that there's multiple follow-up messages so people show up for the call. And again, this is a 2-part system. Stay tuned for that next video of how to use AI to actually book in sales calls, which is mind-blowing. So again, the more booked calls where people show up, the more sales means you scale, and when you scale, you equal success, and when you have success, you equal freedom. Guys, freedom is the end goal. Money is awesome, but time is even better. Again, that's what we do for our clients. We buy them back their time. So it all starts here. If people show up to the sales calls, It's just more of a chance for freedom for yourself and for your family. All right. Again, you get this whole document for free, but we're going to move right into actually a demo of the system and a little bit more in depth of what that looks like and how you could possibly set it up for yourself to make sure double the amount of people will show up to your sales call. All right, guys, welcome to my laptop. I'm going to be showing you the Appointment Reminder AI. Hopefully the volume's not too off. Forgive me if it is, but essentially this is the Appointment Reminder AI workflow. I'm going to walk you through very briefly about how it works. Again, if you want a whole step-by-step description of this, you can hop on that free AI audit call with me. If you're a business owner, I would happily walk you through it. But essentially, it all happens from a trigger. So when someone books in an appointment, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, whatever it is, this will trigger the workflow. And you could add another trigger as well from like a referral or something like that. First thing we're going to do, we're going to add a tag. So where did they come from? Then we're going to send over an internal notification to the sales team or to yourself like, hey, congratulations, you got a sale, or you got a sales appointment, I should say. You got an appointment booked. So the team is on the same page. You're on the same page as well. Then this is where the magic happens. OpenAI comes in right here. So we're going to use a specific OpenAI prompt, which I'm not going to give away right now, to actually go ahead and start the conversation and start the reminder sequence. So the more data that OpenAI has, the better personalized response it can make. The better personalized response it can make, the more of a chance that this person will show up for the call, because personalization is huge. Again, this is one of the biggest three things that we went over: visibility, personalization, and then, how many reminders you actually send, like repetition. So personalization is huge, and this is what we use AI for. So we're going to send out the first SMS. We're going to wait for the response, then the second, then we're going to send a reminder, then we're going to wait for the response. And guys, with every single response that you get, the AI gets more data on that specific person, which is good. The more data, again, the more personalization, the higher likelihood that they show up for the call. And that's our goal. Have these people show up for the call. And guys, this is the exact workflow. I'm giving you everything that literally doubled people's show up rates, double the amount of revenue they could collect, double the amount of freedom they could have achieved. So this is a huge system. And as you can see, it's a repetitive process. We're just using AI to send out reminders. We do one on the day of, we do one a few hours before, we do one a minute before, and you can see it keeps on going and going and going. That's pretty much the gist of it. I just had to show you basically what it looked like so you guys can visualize it in a different manner. But first, we tag them. We make sure that we know where the lead came from. We send an internal notification to the team, making sure that the team knows that a sales call has been booked. Finally, we use OpenAI and the data from the customer to actually send out personalized reminders. And the last step is people show up to these calls at a much, much higher rate, which is the goal. All right, so this is the system. If you want a whole breakdown of the system, just let me know. And if you're a business owner, hop on that call. I'll break down the whole system and how it applies to your business. But this is massive, guys. It's simple yet effective. And we're not going to go into too much on the prompts and stuff. That will be for a whole another video. Essentially, you have to train the AI with prompts and stuff like that about how to actually respond. Again, that's a whole nother video. I'll cover that at a later date. If you want that, actually, let me know, comment below. That's going to be like a 20-30 minute video just on prompting alone, but I can make it if you guys want it. So let me know about that. And yeah, that's pretty much it with the Appointment Reminder AI system. Simple yet effective. It is shown to actually double the amount of people that show up to sales calls, which is pretty crazy. I hope you guys enjoyed the demo of the system. Again, it is so powerful. And then when you combine it with a system that actually books in the calls for step number 1, it's insane what you could do now with AI. So I really hope you enjoyed that. If you want a whole breakdown of the actual system, feel free to hop on that free AI audit call. The first link in the description. We could go over basically how it works and how you could customize it to your business. But again, this system increases the show-up rates, which can increase potential revenue, allows you to scale, increase efficiency, and then gives you one of the best advantages in the world, which is leverage, and ultimately gives you freedom by scaling your company. All right, guys, so if you want this whole document, it's a 25-page value document. You can download it for free in the Facebook group or school community, depending on when you see this video. And guys, that is all I have for you. I hope that demo of the system was good enough to give you an idea of how insane this system is, especially when you pair it with a system that actually books in calls for you using AI, which is step number 1. There should be a video on the screen somewhere about how you could access that video. But you could use this system to increase show-up rates, which will allow you to scale, allow you to increase revenue, allow you to increase efficiency, and then give you leverage, which is one of the biggest things that you could ever have in business and in life in general. You could download this whole document for free, guys, in one of the links in the description. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed the video. Send me a DM on Instagram. Introduce yourself. I answer all my DMs there, and I'd love to talk with you myself. Hit the notification bell. There's going to be so many more valuable videos just like this dropping on YouTube. And besides all of that, please use AI in your business in 2024 before it's too late, before it gets saturated, before the train leaves. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.